There are moments in life when you look back and realize that certain decisions, certain rules, have made all the difference. And when I reflect on my journey, there are three rules that stand out. Rules that change the way I see the world, the way I approach challenges, and the way I pursue success. First, I learned that success isn't something that just happens. It's built, brick by brick, with hard work and consistency. It's not always glamorous, and it's definitely not easy, but there's no substitute for the work you put in. When I first started, there were days when I felt like I was running in place, putting in the hours, but not seeing the rewards. And let me tell you, that's tough. But if you stick with it, if you keep showing up, even when it feels like nothing is changing, something incredible happens. You begin to grow, not just in skill or knowledge, but in resilience. You develop this unshakable belief that you can weather any storm. The truth is, there is no shortcut to success. It's about grinding it out, day in and day out. You must embrace the process, not just the end goal. The second rule I learned is that you have to take ownership of your choices. You see, life will throw everything at you, challenges, disappointments, obstacles. But at the end of the day, how you respond is what defines you. You are not the victim of your circumstances. You are the author of your own story. When things go wrong, when life gets hard, it's easy to look for someone or something to blame. But the real growth happens when you stop looking outward and start looking inward. What decisions did I make that led me here? How can I own this moment and make the most of it? This is where true empowerment lies. When you take responsibility for your choices, you unlock the power to change your situation, your mindset, and your future. The third rule, and probably the most crucial, is that failure isn't the end, it's the beginning of something greater. For a long time, I thought failure was something to be avoided at all costs. I was afraid of what people would think if I didn't succeed, afraid that one failure would define me forever. But what I came to realize is that failure is a lesson, not a defeat. Every time you fail, you're learning something. You're learning what doesn't work. And more importantly, you're learning how to be better. The only true failure is when you give up, when you stop trying. The key is to get back up, dust yourself off, and try again. Failure is just a stepping stone toward growth. So when I look back on the rules that changed my life, it's these three that stand out. The value of hard work and consistency, the power of taking ownership of your choices, and the understanding that failure is a part of the process, not the end of the road. These rules have shaped my life, and I know they can shape yours too, if you choose to live by them. Keep showing up, own your story, and never fear failure, because it's the gateway to your next big breakthrough. Success isn't a one-time event, it's a series of steps taken over time, consistently. The key to achieving anything in life, whether it's in your career, personal development, or any goal you set, is the discipline to keep going, even when it's hard, even when the rewards aren't immediate. There's this myth that success is about getting lucky, about catching a break, or stumbling upon an opportunity. But what I've learned over and over again is that success is far more about the process than the result. When I first set out on my journey, I wasn't exactly greeted with open doors or immediate recognition. There were setbacks, failures, and plenty of times when I questioned whether it was all worth it. And I know many of you have felt the same way. You put in the work, but you don't always see the returns right away, and that can be discouraging. But this is where consistency becomes the game changer. You have to show up day after day, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're exhausted, even when it seems like no one is noticing. It's during those times, when you're putting in the effort without immediate gratification, that the seeds for your future success are being planted. Consistency means that even when the path feels difficult, Even when you stumble, you don't stop. You don't quit. You keep pushing forward, knowing that the small efforts you put in today are setting up a foundation for bigger victories tomorrow. It's the simple act of showing up that compounds over time, creating momentum that makes all the difference. In this world, too many people get discouraged by the lack of instant results, but the people who truly succeed are the ones who make the decision to keep going. They choose to trust the process, trust that the hard work they put in will pay off, even if it takes longer than they expected. Consistency isn't about doing the same thing in the same way all the time. It's about constantly showing up, even when things don't go as planned. It's about the willingness to adjust, adapt, and grow, while still sticking to the commitment to keep working toward your goal. It's easy to get distracted by what others are doing, or to start looking for shortcuts. But the truth is, there's no magic formula for success. It's about focusing on what you can control and doing your part, no matter how long it takes. The real secret is that the results will come, but they will only come if you stay the course. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. And if you can learn to embrace the grind, if you can be patient and persistent, you will find yourself in a place where success isn't a distant dream, but a reality. It's not about getting it right every single time, but about showing up, being consistent, and doing the work, even when no one is watching. It's in that daily dedication that you find the power to build the life you want. Taking ownership of your choices is one of the most powerful lessons you can learn in life. There are moments when things don't go as planned, when life hits you with unexpected challenges, and it's easy to look outward, to point fingers, and blame the circumstances or the people around you. But I'll tell you this: the moment you realize that you are the one in control of your response to these situations, that's the moment you unlock your true potential. Life will happen, no matter how well you plan, no matter how hard you work. But it's not life itself that defines you. It's how you respond to it that truly shapes who you are. When you take ownership, you stop being a passive observer in your own story. You stop letting life just happen to you. Instead, you start making decisions, real, conscious decisions, that shape your future. It's not about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about owning up to them, learning from them, and taking full responsibility for the direction of your life. Too often, we look for excuses or place blame, but that only keeps us stuck. When you own your choices, you empower yourself to move forward. You stop waiting for someone else to change things for you. You stop giving your power away. Instead, you say, "This is my life. I am in charge." This doesn't mean you won't face difficulties, and it doesn't mean everything will be smooth sailing. But what it does mean is that you have the strength and the courage to face whatever comes your way, because you know that your response is yours to control. If you make a mistake, you own it. If something goes wrong, you look at it, learn from it, and adjust. That's where growth happens. Not in avoiding failure, but in taking full responsibility for the way you handle it. When you take ownership, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstances. You become the author of your own life story. And here's the most important part. Taking ownership means understanding that you have the power to change. If something's not working, if you're not where you want to be, it's on you to take the steps to make it right. That doesn't mean everything will be easy or happen overnight, but it means you recognize that you are capable of creating change in your own life. No one else can do it for you. You are the one who decides whether to keep going, whether to push through or to give up. The moment you stop giving away your power, the moment you take full responsibility, is the moment you start making real progress. Ownership also means being honest with yourself. It means looking in the mirror and asking, what role did I play in this situation? That honesty is uncomfortable, but it's necessary for growth. The excuses won't get you anywhere. Only the truth will set you free and push you to the next level. When you can look at your life, both the wins and the losses, and say, I own all of it, that's when you'll find yourself standing in a place of true empowerment. Taking ownership of your choices is the foundation for building the life you want. It's about taking full responsibility for where you are, and then using that awareness to move forward with strength, purpose, and a clear vision. No one can take that power from you. It's yours. And once you fully embrace it, nothing can stop you. So, as I stand here and reflect on the 3 rules that have transformed my life, I realize that they are more than just principles. They are the foundation of who I am and how I approach everything I do. Hard work and consistency have taught me that success is a journey, not a destination, and that the real growth happens in the daily grind, when no one is watching. Taking ownership of my choices has shown me the power of responsibility, the ability to shape my own story and navigate life with strength, no matter what obstacles arise. And finally, I've learned that failure is not something to fear, but a lesson to embrace. It's a stepping stone, not an endpoint. These rules have been a guide through the highs and the lows, and they've shaped the person I am today. They remind me that success is earned, not given, that my choices, no matter how small, determine the direction of my life, and that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Life is full of moments that test us, but it's how we respond that ultimately defines us. If you take nothing else from what I've shared today, remember this: consistency, responsibility, and the courage to fail forward are the keys to becoming the person you're meant to be. Keep showing up, own your journey, and never be afraid to stumble, because each step you take is leading you closer to who you're meant to become. The power to change, to grow, and to succeed has always been within you. The question is, will you choose to embrace it?